Hello and welcome back to another video on TGM Guitars. As always, I'd like to start off by first saying thank you to everyone who's shown support on the channel, whether that's through just watching the videos, subscribing, liking, commenting, all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's jump into what will be my first video of 2023. So you would have already seen with my pedalboard build and with the last video I did, which was my 2022 gear rundown, that I got myself a couple of new pedals for Christmas. And today we're going to focus on one of those, and that is the Victory V1 series, the Kraken pedal. So if you've seen my rig rundown videos for my live rig, you'll know that when I'm going through my pedal board into my amp, my aim is to get a couple of different sounds. I play in a covers band, so I want a sort of standard classic rock sound, so a little bit grittier, heavier, rattier. I was literally using a rat style pedal for a while. And then I want kind of a fuzz available if I need it, then something to boost into solos. So what used to do my heavier, rattier sound has been replaced by the Victory V1. So what I'm going to do today is just chuck it through a couple of my amps, starting off with the Humbucker V55 Infinium, use a couple of different guitars, and let you guys hear it. I'm not going to put it through the Vox today. It does sound really good through the Vox, I will say that, but I will be doing a sort of 2023 live rig rundown, so I'm going to kind of leave it for that, but we're going to put it through a nice sort of clean platform, and then we're going to put it through the Marshall on a bit more of a crunchier sound to let you guys hear what it sounds like when it's pushing an amplifier kind of beyond its limits, really. So without further ado, let's jump over. I'll talk you through all the controls on it and get in some playing demos. Okay, so let me just quickly talk about the Kraken itself. So this is kind of Victory's first foray into the stomp box market. I know they did the pedalboard friendly amplifiers, V4 series I believe. So this is the V1 series, co-designed by Adrian Fulp from Fulpy Effects, sort of bringing a bit of pedal know-how into Victory's fold. And the whole idea of these pedals is to capture all of the sounds and kind of feel of the Victory amplifiers in a pedal board format that somebody can just chuck through the front of their existing amplifiers. So we have the Kraken, the Sheriff, the Duchess and the Jack, all based upon their amplifier namesake. So the Kraken is the heavier modern gain, kind of 5150-ish. You've probably heard loads of kind of clips of people playing that modern metal, one of them mainly being Rabia Massad, so giving it that kind of really sort of heavy, saturated sound. And you can do the scoop mid stuff on this, and I'll maybe do a little bit of that. I'm not a massively heavy player, so we'll see how that goes. As far as my signal chain goes, I've got my PRS Zach Myers into my pedal board. We're just going to be running through the Kraken, maybe a little bit of modulation to mix things up, and maybe a little bit of delay later on. And then that goes into my Humbucker V55 Infinium. I've got it running cleanish. I know people complain when you say that. Just remember to press record on that, otherwise that'll be bad. And then into there, it's going into my 2 Notes Torpedo Captor X, which is running a 4x12 Marshall style 1968 vintage cabinet. And then to you guys. So as usual, I'll try and do as little processing as I can and let you guys sort of hear what this is all about. So this is the sound we're starting with, just the amp on its own. So let's put everything at 12 o'clock and kick this beast on. So as you can tell, it's got that nice beefy gain sound. So on the front here, we do have volume, gain, bass, middle and treble. So you've got a lot of tone shaping capabilities. So what we'll do to start with, I'll leave these the same. Let's put a little bit more gain on it and play some stuff, see what it sounds like. So let's do gain all the way up, why not? So you can squeal with it, not that I can do that very well. I won't even embarrass myself anymore with that. So let's back that gain a bit down. And let's just play A chord and sweep those tone controls, get that out of the way, and then I can start just having some fun with this pedal. So that bass is quite usable all the way through its frequency sweep. Now with the middle, obviously you can get those scoop tones with this, and you will hear that as I go towards the lower end. Last but not least, treble. So, as you can tell, very usable. EQ section allows you to dial it in, as I said. Yeah, let's just play some riffs. I'll chuck the middle down a little bit more treble to get a bit more punchy. And let's, yeah, let's just play and have some fun. So yeah, hell of a lot of fun this pedal. So what I'm going to do before we get too carried away, I did put a little bit of delay on then, is jump over to something with some single coils, let you hear how that sounds. Then we'll chuck it through the Marshall and just give you an idea what it sounds like with two different amplifiers. That seems like the best way to do this, to do it justice. So bear with me a second. Okay, so here we have my Made in Mexico Fender Player Telecaster, which I acquired kind of mid through last year, and I can already tell you what I'm going to have to do. More than likely we will test this is chuck that treble down a little bit, and also the noise floor is significantly more. Maybe I'm wrong. That actually sounds pretty good like that. Just so usable. Right, let's do, what's a stereotypical thing? Let's drop D this thing. And take the middle out. Are you even allowed to do this anymore? I don't know. Is this... it just feels so meaty and I mean, and then you just bump that middle up a little bit and it just gets rid of all that kind of scoop sound, which, I mean, that's just insane. The amount of sustain it just gives it. Jesus Christ, this thing is insane. I don't usually get on with distortion pedals, but man, I think I made a good choice for this one. So, as you can tell, it beefs up a single coil Telecaster like nothing. So what I'm going to do, chuck it through the Marshall. I have got, and as I said, I'm not a heavy player, but I've got a guitar over there that's tuned whole step down. And we'll just see what it sounds like through the Marshall, a little bit of crunch, and then put this thing on top. So let me just change that setup and be back with you guys. Right, so what I have for you now is my trusty old Starfire Stratocaster. If you don't know the story behind this, first ever guitar I owned. Go watch my last video, I talk about it a little bit more in that. So this, a while ago I strung up with 11s, because I had a bunch of sets of 11s that needed using, and yeah, I tend to tune this lower. It's just something to have about if I'm trying to write stuff, which, as I mentioned last time, I don't do anywhere near as much anymore. But this is tuned full step down. I was playing about with some Motley Crue last night with this pedal, and yeah, it's just, as I said, insane. So this is what we're starting out with. In the DSL 100, I've kept the speaker emulation the same. Everything else is the same, except for the amplifier. So we've got the DSL 100 HR in channel 1 red, so the crunch channel, the classic crunch, and this is what it sounds like with nothing on. Apparently a bad pot on this guitar, but let's kick the Kraken on. Let's unleash the Kraken. Definitely chugs, doesn't it? That's mad. I mean, I'm not really into the massive sort of mid-scoop thing, so. I honestly just can't get enough of this pedal at the moment. So let's put a little bit of, what should we go for? Some phaser on it. Let's have some fun with that, shall we? you can definitely have a lot of fun with this pedal. It just interacts so well with everything else as well. So what I didn't do is a sweep of the gain. So obviously gain all the way down, it literally has nothing. All the way up to just complete fire breathing. But again, like with everything else, it's so usable on this. It's just everything has a purpose. And we click that off and we're back to... I should mention the pickups on this are not very high output either. They're kind of PAF style. So, I mean, nothing I've used so far has been ridiculously high output pickups. God knows what this thing would sound like with something with even active pickups or just something a little bit hotter than your usual. So I think all I'm going to do now is just, again like I did before, riff a little bit. This is going to be strange, it's going to be playing riffs that I wrote on a standard tune guitar on a lower tune guitar. So we'll see how this sounds. I'm not entirely sure it'll sound brilliant, but let's knock the bass down a little bit. A bit more mid and treble. Let's give it a bit more of a hissy sound chunk. And yeah, give it a go, shall we? I think that's enough of that, seeing as I think my G-string's gone horribly out of tune. Yeah, horribly out of tune. So I won't play any more. Hope you enjoyed just hearing some sounds from a few different guitars, this pedal, 2 different amps. But yeah, that is the victory of the Kraken. So there we have it. I hope I didn't embarrass myself too much with trying to play heavier style stuff, especially when I started tapping. That was a bit cringy even for me, so God knows what you guys felt like. But this pedal, I mean, from the moment I first strummed the chord on it, which was actually back in my pedal board wiring video, I needed to test, make sure it all worked. And I just strummed it, I was like, I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this. And so far I have. I mean, I only got this at Christmas and honestly, I can't stop playing with this. I've also got a Wampler Plexi drive that I bought exactly the same time. They were kind of my Christmas gifts. And I've barely played with the Plexi drive because I've just been having so much fun with this Kraken. It's just, I mean, you heard it. It's got everything you need. A good range of sounds and just, it's just fun to play, which is the most important thing when it comes to any pedal. Now, it's my first foray into the more expensive, I don't know, maybe you could call this boutique. I mean, it is completely handmade in the UK, so I guess boutique pedal. It's my first foray into that, first foray into expensive pedals with regards of I'm spending over £100 on a pedal. I've never actually done that before except for the MD500. So for me, this is a good first experience, and the sound difference to that and a cheap like Donner pedal is just ridiculous. And you're definitely going to be hearing this a hell of a lot more on the channel. I hope it's been somewhat informative and I've given some good audio demonstrations of this pedal and what it could be used for, and it isn't just a complete chug monster. I mean, yes, I did do a bit of that during this video, but it can be used for so much more, and every single control, except I've not played about with the volume because the volume you tend to just use for a unity gain thing. Sure, you could probably use this as a boost to go into your lead sounds, but ultimately it's designed to be your main sort of lead or rhythm always on pedal, and yeah, I just can't get enough of the thing. So that's enough of me rambling on and dribbling over this pedal. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please be sure to leave a comment down below. Leave a like rating, even consider subscribing to the channel. It's great to see the numbers keep going up, and yeah, it'd be nice to hit at least 500 subscribers by the end of 2023. If it's more, that's a bonus. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.